Once you've chosen a business name, you're going to need to get a logo. My personal preference is to go pretty cheap for the first one. You don't know how long the business is going to be in operation for. You might find a year or 2 years into it, you want to rebrand the name. And so you don't, in my opinion, want to spend a lot of money on a logo. So one of the best ways to do is to go to Upwork and put a job post up that allows you to get a number of people, and you can have a look at their price, at what they're willing to do. So this particular job I put up there is that solid track record, short deadline, and you must be able to show an example of your best logo and a style guide you created. Very important that you also want the style guide as well. The reason being is that you want to ensure that you can then hand that over to a developer to implement any of those style guides as well, and it's all done for you, as opposed to then having to get that done with the developer and go back to the drawing board. So the logo person can also create a sort of basic color palette for you. Depends on this, I would normally go for a fixed price as well. So these originally came in, you can then start to filter best match, price, applicants, etc., etc. Look, there are certain countries that I predominantly don't use for creative work, some that I do, and you want to be looking at the success rate, but realistically, depending on what you're going for and simplicity, you shouldn't need to pay more than $200-300. You can go to something like 99 Designs, but I think they're around about $700 for a project. I have to have a quick look. I did consider this, but it was probably double, maybe triple what it would have been on Upwork. So I chose Upwork. I've been using Upwork for years. So once you have that agreed, ask for obviously multiple referrals. Make sure you definitely have the raw file. You want that logo file in Adobe Illustrator or variation of that any other graphic designer can play around with and change those things around. When I posted up on here, I also got them to create all the variations, so black and white, transparent, all those other things, and then I also got them to create the social media sized ones, so they're all ready to go. So sometimes you can just, when you find the right designer, just say, I'd also like this and this, and bulk it all up, because it's going to save you the hassle when you go to open a Facebook page or a LinkedIn banner or whatever those things are that you want to add on top. And if you don't have the equivalent of the graphic design to be able to change the sizes and the fonts, and sometimes it's as simple as the pixels need to be a certain size, you're much better off having someone to do that straight away for you. So here's an example of what the style guide should look like when it's all done. So you've got the typography, you've got the H1s, and then you can even include secondary colors, call to action buttons, and have all of those there so that you've got a style guide that you can pass on to a developer to build your website. So this is an example of how you can very quickly, within a couple of days, get a logo created. There are obviously other ways. There are other formats out there as well, aside from Upwork. There's Freelancer, a number of others as well. But as I said at the start, you really want to be getting this done quite quickly for not a lot of money. Otherwise, you've got the pain of, again, potentially 1-2 years down the track having to rebrand and going through all of this again. So for me, I don't spend a huge amount of money in the first year or two on a logo. So, but I got this done within 2 days.